beautiful morning here in Boise, Idaho. It's in the background. More chill this morning. So today's the day we're gonna get the windshield fixed, or replaced actually. The windshield is fixed and actually I can live with it, but we're gonna finally get this thing replaced. We're gonna replace the windshield. We're gonna do the all-wheel drive controller service, which it needs to do. It's gonna get a new front shield, and all of this is getting done at the Porsche dealership. All-wheel drive, really the two main reasons are the all-wheel drive controller. Ooh, I'm being jammed by the po-po. Police are jamming me. So I just keep up with cars. But the two main reasons for this are the windshield needs to be done by Porsche at a Porsche dealership. Yes, you can get aftermarket. Yes, there's plenty of people who've done it and have good stories, but I found more bad stories than good stories as to what happened after they got a windshield installed, with wind noise, with leaking, with having to be redone. So to prevent all that, to avoid all that, I'm just going to get it done at the Porsche dealership, and it's going to cost more. It's probably going to cost double what a normal windshield service does. But when you get it done at the Porsche dealership, it comes with the guarantee. So with the guarantee, I know I don't have to worry about it leaking, cracking, not sealing right. If I have any issues, I'll take it back to Porsche and say, hey, do it again, and they will. So that's the main reason. The all-wheel drive controller is the other one I'm doing at Porsche, because all-wheel drive and PDK service, though they're super expensive, and yes, you can do them by yourself, I like to get them done at Porsche. One, it's documented. It's in their system in case you ever have a warranty issue in the future. Like, let's say they come out with some recall for the PDK, or they come out with some kind of, hey, we found this after all these years, which they have done. They find stuff, and you didn't get that service done at Porsche. You have to then prove that you did the service, or they could tell you that you don't qualify for that fix or repair or whatever. The main reason is it's actually just preventive. It's if the PDK ever goes bad on this car, I want it documented that I did all the services and everything was done right, so that when I make my argument to Porsche that it shouldn't go bad, and ask for a what do they call that? Ask for a goodwill gesture for the PDK service, they'll be more willing to say yes. They might still say no, but at least they'd be more willing if you have documented proof that you did all the services that were required. So that's the one thing. Now, other stuff I'm going to do, I'll never take it to Porsche. Spark plugs, oil changes, serpentine belt, even injectors. I don't think I need injectors, but if I ever get to the point of injectors, I think all that stuff I'll do myself. I'll never take it to Porsche to do that. I can do that all day long, and it's easy, and there's no chance, very little chance, you're going to damage anything doing it yourself. So they also told me they were going to give me a car to drive. I wonder what they're going to give me. They're probably not going to give me a 911, obviously. They're probably going to give me some little crappy car. How about this for a loaner car? Porsche gave me a Porsche Macan. Gas-powered, not EV. I guess they don't loan the EVs yet. It's pretty nice, super nice in here. As far as feel goes, feels pretty heavy. It's a small SUV, but it definitely has big SUV feel. I mean that in both comfort, the features in it, the little bit of features that I played with for the first few minutes, and just driving on the road. It's really smooth, it's really stable, but if I turn the wheel, I'll switch lanes here. It feels heavy. It really, the steering feels heavy, the car itself feels heavy, but I don't know what engine is in this. I don't know anything about this. The pedals are really close together. I almost would need to take my shoes off. They're more close together than on my 911. See if I can get my video of my feet here. So like on the accelerator, my foot is almost touching the brake pedal with my shoe on. Like I have to work my foot around the brake pedal to press the accelerator. I go back to work now. So when we get to the parking lot at work, I'll do the outside video of it. We'll look at what engine's in this car, and we'll just look at it real quick. I left my car there, so we're gonna get all-wheel drive controller, new windshield, all-wheel drive controller, an alignment. They're gonna inspect it. It has a new squeaky noise. I'm pretty sure it's a bushing. I just don't know which one, and it's already here. Might as well let them look at it so they can tell me. I'm not gonna have them change it. I'll replace it myself, but at least they can say, oh yeah, it's this. They're also going to look at a potential PDK calibration and throttle body calibration. The throttle body calibration I'll ask them to look into and do, because I replaced the throttle body 2 years ago. And remember when I had that issue with maybe it was just last year. I don't remember if it was 2 years ago or last year. But when I had the issue with the mass airflow sensor, and ended up being the mass airflow sensor, where the car was, surging in RPM, and it was a little bucking and jerking a little bit. In the Porsche service manual, it tells you to replace the mass airflow sensor. Now, we had to try 3 different ones before we got one that worked. And that was what we found out was it needed the exact same one, part number wise, that was installed in the car in Stuttgart, Germany when it was built. Anything else, it did not like. It would not work with it, which is very weird. But we also I replaced the throttle body. And just to be sure, one thing I didn't record and I didn't tell you guys, a little later on, I put the old throttle body back in just to see. As soon as I put it in, I got a fault code, and I looked at the error, and the error was the throttle body. So that confirmed that my previous throttle body was bad, and I junked that. I threw that thing away. So installed is the newer throttle body with the new mass airflow sensor that's been in there maybe 1 to 2 years, and I never did a calibration on it. Well, I did a calibration with my scan tool, but it's not P-Wiz. And Matrix, when they were looking at it, they talked about doing a calibration, but I don't think they ever did it. The independent shop I take the car to. So now that we're here, I'm asking Porsche if they'll do a calibration on it, and they're gonna look at it. They'll look at it with P-Wiz. The best thing about P-Wiz is they can scan the car, and with the Porsche diagnostic tool that I wish I had access to, it can tell you everything about the car. It can tell you what it needs, what it's doing, even if you don't have fault codes. It can tell you if your fuel trim is too high or too low. It can tell all the infinite detailed information that you want so you can make your car run better. They can do that. And that's one of the good things of taking your car to Porsche. The bad side, or maybe not bad for some people, but kind of bad for us working people, is how expensive it is. So far, as of leaving right now, my estimate is $2,500. It is a legitimate estimate. I agreed to it because I know what they're going to be doing. I know what they're going to be working on. So I said, yes, go ahead and do that. I expected this cost. I saved up my money for this cost. The biggest part of that is the windshield. The windshield alone is almost $1,400 for the windshield. Known, expected, not the end of the world. I mean, look at this windshield, for example. Look, crystal clear windshield, no spots, no nothing in it. I have been driving my car with a sandblasted windshield probably now for 4 years. Well, maybe 5 years since I've owned it, but it's gotten a little bit worse, little by little. It's had a few chips in it I've gotten fixed. One in LA, one when I first got the car in Boise, and definitely the crack that you guys saw on the way to Boise 2 months ago. Right? So it's had its fair share of war. It's time for a new one. I hadn't thought about it because this video I intended to be all about the repairs that we're going to do on the Porsche 911 right now. But what I should do is a 5-year review, because I bought my car in September 2020 and it is now September 2025. So I'm going to wrap up this. When I wrap up this video about the repairs done to the car, my next video will be a 5-year review. All right, so this is the Porsche Macan interior. They love this piano black. They stick this plastic black on everything. It looks good, but it's getting a little boring. We have here traction control, sport suspension. It doesn't tell me anywhere. Oh, it does, right down the dash. If I press that, it gives me options. Watch, I'll press it again. Chassis Sport Plus selected. Ooh, so it has Sport Plus, not just Sport. Sport and Sport Plus. That's freaking cool. In a Macan. Lane assist, hate it. Hill assist, great. Is your seat controls, temperature. I'm glad at least they have a physical button here. I don't mind the touchscreens, but I like physical buttons as well. Standard PDK shifter. Max speed 150 because it has mud and snow tires. I think it's crazy you go 150 in a Macan. I do like the steering wheel. Is this real carbon fiber? Oh, it is. They've got real carbon fiber trim on the steering wheel. They should have done real carbon fiber trim. If they're going to put it on the steering wheel, they should have done carbon fiber trim on the whole car. Instead, they've got aluminum paddles. Paddles feel nice. They're weighted. They got a good feel. Very good feel. I like the analog gauge style with just that over there. And then you've got their new infotainment system, which is kind of... it works. It's okay. Yeah. I'm not going to do a review on this. If you guys have seen this on other cars, the Panamera system is pretty nice. And the Panamera, I think you also get a screen over here. This actually feels like it's supposed to be a screen, but they just put piano black in there instead of the screen. Let's look at the outside. Although it's a Macan, it's still a Porsche. So you have a drive mode button. So you can turn this and you can see it change. Sport Plus, individual. You can hear it. You can actually hear the exhaust in Sport Plus. It's really subtle, it's hard to hear, but I promise you it is in Sport Plus mode. Verify that by looking right here. Sport Plus is on, and look up here. Sport responsiveness. So if you press the center button, you can turn that up. Oh, I bet you. Is that launch control? I bet you that's launch control. That's why it's counting down. That's crazy. That's pretty crazy they put that tech into this car, because this is just a small engine. So I popped the hood because I wanted you guys to see this. So this is a 4-cylinder. It's a nice engine cover though. I like the texture on it. I like that it says Porsche right here, right? Pay attention. It says Porsche. Volkswagen. This looks like the same Volkswagen engine that's in a lot of Volkswagen products. Audi. So it's got a Porsche engine cover. That's good. But it's a Volkswagen Audi engine. 2-liter. It's huge. I've never seen a airbox like that. I guess it has ram air, huh? Weird. It's pretty decent looking. It's got good lines. I like that they copied from the Audi R8 style, where there's no fenders. The hood is just one big piece and goes over the top part of the fender. Nice wheels. Actually, I don't mind these wheels with the taller sidewalls because it gives you a more comfortable ride. If I buy something like this, I'm buying it for comfort. I'm not buying it for performance. It's short. It's about the size of a Volkswagen Tiguan or an Audi Q5 or Q4 now, I think. More sloped back, more sporty, like a Porsche is supposed to be. Got the Porsche curves, which are nice. I do love the solid beam LED taillight. Panoramic sunroof. That's nice. And this metallic color looks really good in the sun. It's like a metallic gray. Nice looking car. Rides nice. Got a Porsche 911 though. So, but we're going to enjoy it while we have it. And then we'll get our car back either this afternoon or tomorrow. I got to admit, this transmission is a lot better. But in Sport Plus, it turns off the stupid auto start stop, which we don't care about. But once I get going here, it is snappy. I'm waiting for the light. This is another thing. I actually kind of like this, where you can scroll through these different menus. So I don't have that. Well, obviously I don't have it in my car, but it has a lot more information than I've noticed before. Temps are good, battery's good. Sport Chrono. Nice. Let's leave it on here. So right now it's rear wheel bias. So even though this does not have a genuine Porsche engine, it behaves and drives and feels like a Porsche. Took me a minute to figure out how to put it in manual mode. So if you press the M here, it gives it in manual mode. And then it won't shift. Put it back in auto mode and it shifts for you. And that's in automatic mode. I'll put it in manual mode here in a second once I get past this traffic. Alright, now that I'm out of traffic, let's put this in manual mode. That is freaking responsive. That is really damn nice. That is super nice and snappy and responsive. And it's completely comfortable in the car. You don't feel any jerking, any clunks, any thumping, nothing. It's just instantaneous. Good job, Porsche. Good job.
Three hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
All the services, but the windshield got replaced. And that's what clear glass looks like. I'm so happy they were able to do that without having me to replace that bracket, because I know that the plastic pieces around the bridge of that are broken. So she'll sit over here tonight and continues tomorrow.
The next day.
So we're in the hills right above Boise, and the car is done. It's complete. Back from Porsche. So brand new windshield. So nice to look out of a clear windshield. They even transferred over my stickers, which I should have taken this one off because my membership expired and I didn't renew it, so I should have taken that off. But this one I'm glad they transferred over. This is my driver's era, where I keep the mileage for oil change. Which I'm actually, for the first time since I've had this car, I'm gonna actually have to do the oil change based on the months and not the mileage, because I haven't hit the mileage because I've been traveling so much lately. But windshield's fixed, all-wheel drive controller in the front, it's got serviced. Alignment did not get done, so the wheel is still a little off, but that's because these control arms down here, you can see them, zoom in, those right there are squeaking. There's a tiny bit of play. Some play in them. Porsche did not want to do the alignment because they said it will be off as soon as I replace them anyways. So they were trying to save me a buck. In this case, I wish they would have done the alignment. I appreciate they want to save me a buck, but I'd rather have the steering wheel straight up and down. The car goes in a straight line though if I take my hands off the wheel, so I'm not overly worried about it. It's dirty. It does not look dirty on here, but it is very dirty. Look at these front wheels. I gotta clean that. But this is a daily driver. I don't have any other car here. In Boise, this is the only car I have. I have no car to drive, no other car to drive. I don't have the motorcycle to drive. So this is my means of transportation. So this gets driven every single day. I was actually gonna give it a break today and I didn't. I decided to drive it anyways. So right now we're hungry. So let's go drive to get some food. And on the way, I'll tell you everything they got done. I'm gonna put the windows up and turn the AC on so you guys can hear me, because the wind is blowing pretty strong today. So they changed the all-wheel drive controller fluid. That was my request. So when I first got this car, I bought it in 2020 with 32,000 miles or so. And about maybe 8,000, 10,000 miles later, I changed that fluid. It got done at Matrix. I didn't do it myself, which is an independent shop. And they did that, and over the years we've changed we did the PDK service, we did the front differential. I think that was last year or year before last. We did the front differential because they had a leak in one of the seals, so we pulled off the axles completely, replaced the seals, replaced the fluid in there, changed the filter that was in there, put it all back together. And then just recently, before I came here, I took this to Porsche in Beaverton, and they did the PDK service again and the gear oil. And they did it again because it had been about 50,000 miles, or about maybe a little less. It'd been about 40,000 miles or so between services. So I wanted to get it done again. But one of the things that hadn't gotten done was the all-wheel drive controller. And so I wanted to get that done. And I'm actually very happy I got that done, because even though the transmission was shifting smooth, it's shifting even smoother now because there's less stress on the drivetrain because the all-wheel drive controller got done. And I can feel the car just drives a little bit smoother, maybe 10%. Nothing major, but you can notice just a little tiny bit better. Let me get this gnat out of here. Get out of here, gnat. There's a gnat trying to get out the window. There, it's gone. So PDK or all-wheel drive service was done. I asked them to do a PDK calibration, and they said they wouldn't do a PDK calibration. Well, let me take that back. They didn't say they wouldn't do it. They said they would do it, but on Generation 1 PDKs, unless you have a fault code or some other fault, they don't recommend it because they could induce something. I don't have any fault codes. I don't have any PDK failures at all. So they did not do a PDK calibration. They didn't recommend it. And I said, okay, we don't want to induce anything because this is an expensive transmission. So that got taken care of. I will say, since they did the all-wheel drive controller, so far it's only been a few days, so I'm not 100% sure, but when I shift from park to drive, I don't get the clunk I used to get. It's smooth. I mean, I get a little clunk, but it's not the hard one that I used to get before. It's pretty almost feels like a normal car now. Still feels like a Porsche PDK. If you know the difference, you know what I'm talking about. But it's much more closer in line with a normal car that has an automatic transmission when you go into drive than the hard movement, mechanical movement I had before. So I don't know if that's by accident or because the all-wheel drive controller got serviced. I don't know. They drove the car, they checked everything that I complained about, and they said the car is operating fine, it's within spec. I was like, what the heck is that squeaking? It almost sounds like the rubber on the top of the spring just moving just ever so slightly. It's actually not that. It is the lower control arm. In their report, they call it the tie rod end.
Good afternoon, this is Mike, Gold Level Porsche Tech, doing the inspection on the vehicle. Address the concerns and add them into the inspection. The control arms in question are these tie rods. It's tough to see the naked eye on a video, but if you were to shake the wheel side to side, both tie rods have play in the outer joints. So I put a recommendation in for that. We need to do that before we do the alignment. Otherwise, you won't get an accurate alignment and just be wasting your money. I'm going to finish up with the other items that are approved, and we'll have you back on the road. Thank you.
They said it has a little side-to-side movement, so that's why they did not want to do the alignment. I don't blame them. They wanted to save me money. They didn't want me to waste money. I get it, but I was fine wasting the money. I'm going to replace those two control arms. They're super easy to replace. If you take the wheel off, you can replace them. You probably could do it without taking the wheel off. I wouldn't recommend it, because if you slip, you're going to smack the crap out of your aluminum wheel with your stainless steel wrench, and that's no bueno. So I'm going to get those ordered from FCP Euro. Love having FCP Euro because once you pay for it once, it's under warranty for life. So I'll order it again. They'll send me a replacement, and then they'll give me a credit for that replacement on their store, which I can use. So if I need to buy the front ones, or if I need to buy other stuff, which I will need to buy other stuff. So I'm gonna order those from FCP Euro. I'll get them shipped here to Boise, and I'm gonna fix them at the DIY garage here in Boise. I haven't used this garage other than lift up the car and do an inspection. So this will be the first time I actually do some maintenance, and that'll be in the next video. There is another car I drove recently that I really like, and surprised me. It was just a blast. If you've never driven one, I recommend you go drive one. I drove a manual Mini Cooper S that had an ECU tune, exhaust, and an intake. That was the most fun I've ever had driving a car. Someone else told me about it and said, "Oh, it's more fun than a Porsche 911." I was like, "There's no way, no way." I was like, I love driving my car. It's fun driving this car fast. And then I drove that Mini Cooper. Yeah, it can't keep up. It probably can't keep up. I don't know. I didn't drive it fast enough to find out. I don't think it can keep up with the Porsche 911 if you were trying to chase the Porsche 911 down. But as far as the fun factor, it was so much fun. Honestly, it was more fun to drive that daily than to drive this 911. I've considered selling my 911 so I can buy that Mini Cooper S. A brand new or late model one is going to be far more expensive, but one that's about 10 years old is going to be very, very attainable, almost cash attainable. I'm really contemplating getting it, but like I showed you in the previous videos, we have other priorities that take place over buying new cars. Of course we want to buy new cars. Everyone wants to see you buy new cars. I want to buy a new car and play with it, but I want to keep this and buy the Mini. We have to wait and find out how the Volkswagen CC turns out. If the Volkswagen CC turns out well, by the way, let me back up. I haven't told you about the Volkswagen CC. So, we drained the oil in the CC, we took out the filter, we cut the filter open and looked at it. No metal shavings whatsoever, which is great news. That means no chain broke, the sprockets aren't eating each other up. It's great. The oil was just regular dirty oil. So I was so happy to hear that. With that being said, we're going to reuse the camshaft sprockets and we're going to reuse the timing case drain. Timing chain case. The reason for it is money. The timing chain case has got channels in it for oil, so that's why they don't want you to reuse it. They want you to get a new one. But that's $1,500, and each camshaft sprocket is $1,000 a piece. So because of that, we're not going to replace those. We're going to buy the kit and get the chain. And when I say we, I mean Matrix, not myself. I don't have time to do it because I'm not in the same city as that car. And when I am home, I'm only home for a short period of time. I don't have enough time to drop the engine, the subframe, the engine and transmission, separate the engine, and pull the chain apart. Now, once you get the engine out, it'll be a piece of cake to get access to the chain. But I don't have the time to do that, so I'm gonna have to pay them to do it. It's gonna be not quite half. It's not quite half of the total price that I told you in the previous video of 11K. It's a little more than half, but it's far, far more reasonable than 11K. So we're gonna get that done, get the CC fixed. If everything turns out okay, the CC is working great, no more issues with the CC, then we will get the Mini Cooper S and add that to the channel. And I will bring that car to Boise and we're just gonna have a blast in that car. But we gotta wait and see how the CC turns out first. So once the CC is done, if it's up and running and everything's good and we get the Cooper, I'm gonna take the Passat to Matrix and I'm gonna have them try to figure out the engine. As far as the door, we'll work on the door. I don't care about that. Over time, we'll figure the door out. But we'll take the Passat to Matrix and have them figure it out. I have a feeling what they're going to tell me is it needs a head gasket because of low compression on cylinders 1. But because 2, 3, and 4 have good compression. Number 1 does build good compression, but the initial is low compression. Now, in my mind, logically, I'm thinking it's one of two things. It is the head gasket around cylinder 1, or it's the turbo. I think it's the turbo because you turn on the car cold after the turbo, it goes through the intercooler into the intake. You can hear noise in the intake or right before the intake. I think that noise is the turbo. I think the turbo is not putting out the power it's supposed to at idle, only at idle, because when you're on boost and you're riding, it's fine. And the car drives perfect. My daughter has taken it on a few long trips recently, and the car took her, brought her back, drove perfectly well, gets great gas mileage. So the problem is probably not the head gasket. I'm really thinking the problem is the turbo. Uh-oh, police. They stopping somebody? Oh, yep, they're stopping a pickup truck. What did the truck do? The truck didn't do nothing. That cop just came out of nowhere, and that motorcycle cop came out of nowhere and stopped that pickup truck. There was no stop sign around here. He didn't run a light. I don't know what that's about. Well, glad it's not me. Here's a $1 million question. Do we drive the Porsche back to Portland as is and change the rear control arms in Portland, either in my house at the garage or at the DIY garage, or do we just order the parts and bring them here? Or do them right here in Boise? Let me know what you guys think. It's about a 6.5 hour drive back to Portland with no traffic, and I could do it in about that time, maybe a little bit more. So we could drive all the way back to Portland and do it there. And then if we do drive back to Portland, I don't want to drive to Portland and then come right back in the Porsche. I think if I drive to Portland, what I'll do is I'll drive to Portland, leave the Porsche there, go get my Ducati off consignment because it's not selling, and ride my Ducati back to Boise. The only reason my Ducati is on consignment is not because I don't like it. I love the thing, but I wasn't riding it as much because I was driving my Porsche and driving other cars and traveling, and so I didn't use it as much, and I was just trying to eliminate some debt. But it doesn't hurt me financially to have that Ducati. So I'm thinking, since it hasn't sold yet, maybe I'll go get it. Or maybe I just won't even take the Porsche. I'll leave the Porsche here. I'll fly back to Portland, and then I'll ride back on the Ducati. I'm still thinking about that one too. I almost did that last week. Last week I almost went and got the Ducati and rode it here to Boise. The only reason I didn't do it is because if I get it here, where am I going to keep it? So that's what stopped me from bringing the Ducati. But it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Huge shout out to my friend Michael Motors and Meats. He is at over 2,000 subscribers. He wants to hit 3,000 subscribers before the New Year's. So subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. One of the coolest people I've ever met. Very down to earth. Will help you out, give you a shirt off his back kind of person. You don't come across people like that every day. He is a genuinely nice, good human being. I'm fortunate that I know him and I stay in contact with him. So huge shout out, congratulations, Michael. Keep his channel growing. So now after we get through downtown, we're gonna hit some back roads and just go on a nice long back road drive. Just stretch the legs of the 911 a little bit. Get all the fluids going, get some heat cycles through this thing, and get it happy again. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next video.